Hello and welcome to Saturday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're going to be featuring a type of Sudoku that I don't think we've ever done on the channel before. This is called Pencilmark Sudoku, and it's by Florian Wortmann. Now, I think I might have seen one of these in a world championship about 10 years ago, but the reason we've never been able to show one on the channel is that we had technical difficulties showing one of these puzzles, i.e. so when it was loaded up, it would just show pencil marks in cells rather than actual digits in cells. But our programmer Sven has done amazing work, and we have now managed to showcase this puzzle, which the testers, by the way, say is absolutely extraordinary. So we should be in for a real treat, as usual it seems, in recent times. Now, I've got a couple of announcements before I read you the rules of this one. What are those? If you are a patron of the channel, there is loads and loads of extra content at the moment. We've got the Looney Tunes Sudoku Hunt video, that is available right now. As of tomorrow, we're going to have the solve of this 6x6x6 Sudoku by Sam Kappelman Lines. I know a number of you have been enjoying this, describing it as like solving a 3D Sudoku, with good reason. It's a very fine puzzle. I'll try and remember to put a link to it under the video in case you haven't seen it, but there's a solution video to that going to go up on Patreon tomorrow. Yes, that is the noise of Maverick. Maverick has taken off literally 2 minutes into the video to fly past my window. This is really, really weird. I feel like sometimes I live in the Twilight Zone. Anyway, he will buzz past the window, Top Gun style, and then we can resume talking about other things. Now, on the 1st of October on Patreon, we've got the Lockout Line Sudoku Hunt, which is an incredible series of puzzles, really genuinely incredible. So it's well worth looking out for and putting some time aside for, because there are a lot of puzzles and some of them are very interesting indeed. Yeah, so that's 1st of October. Then I think I'm going to put a bonus video on the channel tomorrow, hopefully, which is not a Sudoku, but a crossword. But it's a crossword called the Phistomefel Ring. Someone tweeted this at us recently, and it really is a very clever thing. So I actually solved it the other day, and I think it probably is worth showing everybody, and it's definitely worth having a go at the crossword if you haven't seen it. So I'll try and put a link to that under the video as well. And apart from that, we're on 398,000 subscribers and something, so we are really very close to 400,000 subscribers. So if you do enjoy the content, please consider subscribing. You will make 2 middle-aged men very, very happy indeed. Now, all that said, let's get on to Pencilmark Sudoku, and I'll read you the rules. They are fairly simple. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Some cells have been pencil marked with their possible candidates. So you can see that means this square here can only be 5, 6 or 9. This square here can only be 1, 2, 3, 5, 8 or 9, etc. Now, I do understand from Sven that there might be some issues with the sort of unwind feature in this puzzle. So if you do find pressing unwind, you might have to press it more than you would normally, but let's try. I will try and do it without pressing unwind, which is another challenge that I shall try and keep at the forefront of my mind, but we'll see. Do have a go yourselves though. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual, and now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now, I presume with this, the way we start is we try and find like triples or pairs in rows or columns or even boxes. But I haven't spotted anything yet, so just give me a moment to try. Oh no, I thought I got something then, but I didn't. I thought I saw a 169 triple, but that is not a 169 triple, so that's nonsense. Was there something going on in column 5? No. Box 5, no, don't like the look of that. There's almost, ooh, no, there's almost something going on in row 8. If this square here couldn't be a 3, this would be 1, 2, 8, 9, and that would be a 1, 2, 8, 9 quadruple in the row. And so we've got to look for something. Bent triples. Yeah, okay, I've got something. I can eliminate a 3 from this cell, because if there's a bent triple look going around the corner of in the corner squares of the grid, What do I mean by bent triple? Well, if these three squares that I've highlighted were all in the same column of the Sudoku, we would instantly understand that as a triple, because each of the three squares would have to be selected from exactly three different digits, the digits 1, 2 and 3. So we would know that the digits 1, 2 and 3 would have to occupy those three squares. Let's imagine it's this square here that was the 1 or the 3. Then you couldn't put 1, 2 or 3 in any of those cells in column 1. Now when you get a bent triple, you can't use it in quite the same way, but you can ask questions like, what happens if this is a 1? Well, if this is a 1, this square here is a 3. What happens if this is a 2? Well, then this square here is a 3. So there is definitely a 3 in at least one of these highlighted cells in this Sudoku. And if that's the case, this digit can never be a 3, because it would eliminate 3 from both of those cells. So we can get rid of 3 from this square. And as right. Even though Maverick is trying to put me off, look here. We've now got a 4, 5, 6 bent triple in these cells, because whether this is 4 or 5, one of these is forced to be a 6. And if one of these is forced to be a 6, that square can't be a 6, which is beautiful. I don't believe this. That's another one. That's another one. So we've now had 3. We've had 3 bent triples in a row, one after the other, all caused by each other. So this one is like causing a chain reaction of bent triples into this triple here, 7, 8, 9. So this square here can never be a 9, because whether this is 7 or 8, there's definitely a 9 in one of those two cells, so that can't be a 9. Now I've got a 1, 2 pair in box 1. Oh, well I have, but I've also got another bent. This is madness. I've now got another bent triple. I've got a bent triple on 1, 2 and 3 in those squares. That means one of those squares is a 3, and this can't be a 3. I'm now actually doing some... I don't believe it. I actually don't believe it. I was about to say I'm now doing some due diligence on this cell, because I need to check there is not a bent triple coming off it, and there is a bent triple coming off it in those cells. This is like the ultimate puzzle for learning about bent triples. There's been about 5 of them now. Those squares. Bent triple on 4, 5 and 6. One of these squares is therefore forced to be a 6. This square can't be a 6. You're kidding. 7, 8, 9. It's the same thing again. I've now got a 7, 8, 9 bent triple here. Which means this square can't be a 9, because one of these two squares is forced to be a 9. This is getting silly. This is quite unbelievable. There's another one. 5, 6, 7 again now. That can't be a 7. No, there is another one. 1, 4, 8. I don't believe it. 1, 4, 8. That's another bent triple. That can't be an 8. Please let there be another one. There is. There's another one. What about those? 1, 2, 9. That means that one of these two squares is forced to be a 1. That can't be a 1. I don't believe it. There's been about 10. There's been about 10 bent triples. I mean, the remarkable thing is that they are all caused by the first bent triple. This bent triple has led linearly into a series of bent triples. And now I've forgotten what one I just found. Was it? I got rid of something from this square, didn't I? Is that right? Yes, I got 1s in one of those. Eliminated a 1 from this square. Yes. Okay, another bent triple now. I'm getting a bit confused here, because I think there might be other bent triples that have been caused by this. I'm seeing a lot of things, but I have spotted this one. That's definitely a 4, 6, 9 bent triple, which means one of those two squares is 9, which means this square here cannot be 9. And let's prove that to ourselves. Imagine this was a 9. This would then be a 4, this would be a 6, and this square would have no value. So this is definitely not 9, this is 6, and that's our first digit in the grid. And that looks like it's a potent digit as well, because that's giving me the 5 here, and a 4 here, and a 9 here, and that's giving me an 8 here. And that can't be an 8 anymore. And this 8 is giving me a 7. Oh, wow. Are these all getting unwound then? 7, 9. Oh, maybe they're not. Oh, no, maybe they are. That's now a 6. That's now a 5. That's now a 4. That's now a 6. I don't believe it. Keep unraveling. Keep revealing your secrets to me. Oh, come on. I don't want this to stop. This needs to appear in a video. It's just absurd. Have we run out of room now? Maybe we have. Bother. It was very exciting. Oh no, maybe not. There's a 6 here, which just gives us a 9. Oh no, here we go. 1, 3. That means this square can't be a 1 or a 3. This is 2, 5 or 9 now. Now this 1, I think, is looking at this square. So that's 2, that's 1, that's 3. This square is not 3 anymore. Oh, that's... Yes. Now look, right at the start, that was one of the first things I noticed, was that the possibility of this quadruple existing. Well, this quadruple does now in fact exist, which might be important. This 1 is giving us a 3 here. 3 is now forced to be there by Sudoku, of all things, in a Sudoku puzzle. How dare Florian use the powers of Sudoku for anything? But he has. This square here now has to be a 3. That has to be a 2. Which means one of those two squares exactly is a 2. One of these two squares is a 1, just using these 1s. Oh, come on. Can we do anything extra? I'm just wondering about how you go about constructing a puzzle like this. This 4 is giving us a 1 here. So that must be an 8. That's no longer an 8. 1 is very restricted in box 6. Yeah, no. Oh, hang on. Box 6. Where can 1 go in box 6? I seem to have only put 1 pencil mark in. I wanted to put 2 in. So we've got 1, 2, 9 here now, having resolved the 8. 8 has to live in one of those two cells. I'm wondering whether we have to use this row, though. This seemed very deliberate to me. No, and I was also wondering about how you construct one of these, because presumably Florian has had to consider not just the bent triples, but which cells are being sort of affected by the forced pencil marking. So let me try and think of an example of that. This square here, for example, I think could absolutely have been a 5, for example, but because of the pencil mark, it can't be a 5, it can't be a 3. Oh, 3 maybe. 3 is in one of those two cells. No, that's not the break-in. But it's quite interesting to think about how you'd go about constructing one of these. I've now got 5 digits in row 4, 1, 3, 7 and 8 to place. Nearly, as only 2 places 3 can go in the row. In fact, that might be a good thought for where does 3 go in this row? Yes, where does 3 go in row 8? Because of the quadruple, we've got to put 3, can't put it there, this 3 deals with that, can't put it there, that 3 deals with that, can't put it here, this 3 deals with that, so that's a naked single. That's a 3, or a hidden single 3 in the row. Ah, now look, now I've got 3s aligning. Yeah, this is gorgeous. I've got 3s aligning in rows 4 and 5, so I've got to put a 3 somewhere in row 6. It can't go here, it can't go here, so it's in this domino, and it's not in column 4, so that's a 3. Which places a 3 here as well. How many 3s have we got? The answer is many. Oh, we've got 7. Okay. And we've got 5 digits now in row 8. We still need to place 4s, 5s, 6s and 7s. So that cell's restricted. That can only be 5 or 7. Oh, better than that. That square's a naked single. sees 4, 5 and 6. So this square is a 7, this square is a 5. 7 lives in this domino in box 2. 5 lives in this domino in box 3. And this domino in box 7. And these two squares now have to be a 4, 6 pair just to complete the row. So does that do us... Ah, yeah, that's lovely. So now 4 has to go exactly there in box 8. That 4 fixes the pencil marked 6s at the top. Which means this square by Sudoku is a 1 or a 2. And what about this box then? We still need to put 9. Yes, where does 9 go? In box 8. It can only go in one cell. And this 1 now forces that to be a 1. That to be a 2. This to be a 2. This to be a 1, just the only place a 1 can go now. And suddenly we're cooking with gas. This is now a 2-8 pair, just by Sudoku of all things. And the top cell of the grid, or of column 4, is a 5 to complete the column. That 5 gives us a 7 here. That gives us a 9 here. That means this is not a 9. This square here is now a 4, I think, just to complete box 2. This square is now a given, in the sense it can only be a 5. 5 is now forced into one of those two squares in box 4, which looks like it might be interesting. In fact, look, we've almost done the central 3 columns of the grid just out of nowhere here. Five has to be in one of those two squares now in box 1, and the reason for that is if we look at if we look at column 3 and R square 5 can go, it can't go in those 3 and it can't go in those 3, so it must be in one of these 3, and this 5 pushes it downwards into that domino there. Now that was a real flurry of activity. This 1 is removing a 1 from that square, so we've now got a 2-9 pair. And this 2 is, look at this. This 2 is seeing that square. So that can't be a 2 in box 7, which means if we trust our pencil marks, and why wouldn't we, this square is a 2, which means this square is a 9, which means this square is a 9 by Sudoku. Let's double click the 9s. No, we haven't quite done them all. 9s are in one of 2 places in box 7 as well, so we've got 7 9s in the grid. And we have to take a pause for breath and think about the next steps, which are going to perhaps be, where should we look now? I haven't got a good feeling for where to look, I have to say. 1 in box 9 can only go in 1 of 2 places. 1 in box 7 can only go in 1 of 2 places. But 1 in box 4 is not so restricted, 1 of 4 places. Bobbins. What about the top row actually? We've got a lot of real estate done there. So these squares here have got to be 4s, 7s and 8s. Although that's interesting, isn't it? None of those digits is restricted at all, which is a bit disappointing. Oh dear. What then about... I'm not sure where to look. 6 is a little bit restricted in box 9, 1 of 2 places. This column, perhaps 1s, 2s, 7s and 8s, so that square is a 2 or a 7. Oh, is that a naked single I see before me? Not in a suggestive way, but in a Sudoku way, I think it might be. Yeah, look at this column. We need 1s, 2s, 7s and 8s. That square sees 1, 2 and 7, so that is an 8. Which means this square is now only 1 or 7. This square is 1, 2 or 7, I think. So what's this 8 doing for us? It's getting rid of an 8 from this position, plonking an 8 into a domino in box 1. This row's now got 6 digits in it. We need 4s, 5s and 6s into these squares. So that's 4, 5 or 6. That square's I was about to say 4, 5 or 6. It's not. It's 4 or 6 because the 5 in box 1 is in one of those squares. So there's a 4, 6 pair in column 1. That looks interesting, doesn't it? So what else have we got to put in column 1? We have got to put in 1, 5, 7, 8 and 9. So this square here, no, that's not terribly good. 5, 7 or 9. That square, no. 1, 7 or 8. That square's more restricted. 1 or 8. That square's 5, 7 or 8. I think this is a fool's errand, actually. Sorry, that one's could be anything. I'm not going to go up to pencil marking 4 digits in a cell, at least not until I'm absolutely desperate. Right, come on. What do we do now? We can note the following thing that I'm about to announce, and it's going to reveal everything. And that thing is... I don't know. I don't know what to do. Oh, come on. Please find something, Simon. Brain, I need to have a sharp word with you. Find a way of doing something in this puzzle. I really am not sure where to look, though. 1, 6, 7, 8. There are some digits where we really don't have much knowledge about them at all. What about that square? Is that in any way restricted? 2, 5, 6, 7, 9. Yeah, a little bit. 2, 7 or 2. No, 2, 6 or 7, I think. So it's actually not that restricted. 2, 6 or 7. Maybe we've got to think about the pencil marks we've got left, because obviously Florian will have put these in for a reason. I think that one originally could have been a whole multitude of things. So for some reason, this one has been reduced now to just 2 or 5. I can't remember about these. I have a feeling these look like they might have been used in a hidden triple. Not a hidden triple, a bent triple. What have we got going on there? I can see one can only go in 2 places in column 9. And, okay, and 2 places in row 7, look. Alright, there's something we can do. Right, that's nice. Yeah, in fact, that's really weird. But it's very beautiful, so I'm absolutely going to use it. This square here can't be a 1. The reason is that if we put a 1 here, I'm a bit nervous about doing this in case it messes up the undo function, but I'm going to put it in. If this square here is a 1, now where do we put a 1 in row 7? Well, I think there's only one cell left that can be a 1, and it's got to be that one. Now, if these 2 squares are 1, I can't put a 1 in box 6 anymore, because this one takes care of that one, and this one takes care of that one, and there's no other cells where you can put a 1. So that means those two, well, it means this square here is definitely not a 1, and that means it's an 8. And maybe that will be useful. Oh, yeah, in fact, well, I can see immediately something. In fact, I've seen lots of things that's doing. This 8 is resolving the 8 and the 2, which is giving me a 4 here, which means this square is not a 4, which means the only place for a 4 in row 3 is there, which means that those become a 7, 8 pair, which means that that becomes a 4, I think. That this becomes a 4 by Sudoku. That seems to suggest this is a 3, which is lovely, because that gives me a 3 over here. Now this square needs to be a 1 to complete the row. That gets me a 7 here, and a 1 here, and a 1 here, and a 1 here. And all of a sudden, have we actually... Yeah, we might have found the magic here. 2, 5, and 6 go in. That means this square here is a 7. 5 and 7 are looking at that cell, which can now only be a 9. 9 has to go there according to pencil marking in box 7. Now this 7-8 pair, well, let's use the 6 actually. That's got to be a 5. We need to put a 6 in the box. That's got to go here. That's now a 7. That resolves the 7 and the 8. That gives me a 5 here. This square here has got to be a 6. That fixes my 6 and my 4. I'm not saying anything. I'm just hopeful now. I am actually really hopeful. This looks like it's... Oh, my 2 double tap then. That was a bit strange. 7 and 6. Oh. Hang on. I'm not going to say press unwind because I'm nervous about what that will do. I'll put 2 there because I think that was a 2 before I mistakenly deleted it. That square's got to be a 6. That looks like it needs an 8 in the row. I need a 5 here, and that square there, if I haven't made an error, will be a 7. And that looks beautiful, and we're going to click tick, and we have solved a wonderful puzzle. That is an absolute gem. So the start was one of the most absurd things you'll ever see in your life. There was about 20 bent triples in a row, and they were all cascading off the one we found in, I think it was these 3 cells. Just extraordinary stuff. And I really liked that this quadruple emerged actually. I'm not sure exactly what I did with that, but I did something. And then it all led to this square not being able to be a 1, which was also rather cute. So yeah, in fact, what I'm just thinking is what I should call this video is the ultimate guide to bent triples or Y-wings. Y-wing being the technical term for one of these bent triples. But, of course, if I do that, everyone will get cross that I've revealed the start of the technique that basically busts the puzzle open. So what I might call the video is... We're going to change the name of this video in a few days' time. So once everyone's seen it, it can then be the sort of tutorial video on Y-wings, even though we won't hopefully have spoiled the puzzle for too many of our regular viewers. That was just, well, it was to die for, wasn't it? It's an absolutely incredible Sudoku. Florian Wortmann, take a bow. I loved it. And I hope you guys did too. Let me know in the comments. I do enjoy reading them, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.